Hi everybody, hope you all are doing well. My name is Saajid, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my announcement for the Translate-a-thon, which is a readathon that I am co-hosting. This was created by Hafsa, who is new to the book community and is already running a read-along. Girl, good for you. I am co-hosting along with Fana, Tasmin, and Sandra. And I'm really excited to do this read along. It will be taking place from the 21st of December to the 31st of December. And of course, the main idea of this readathon is to get you to read translated fiction specifically. Hafsa put together a Google Doc that I'll be linking down below, which has a bunch of recommendations if you're interested in participating. There will also be Twitter sprints throughout the read along. So if you want to participate, you can actually host a sprint. All you have to do is DM the Translate-a-thon Twitter and ask Hafsa for permission to host a sprint, and maybe she might let you host a sprint. So the link to the Twitter will be down below, and you'll get more information there if you have more questions about the readathon. I'm really looking forward to reading for this particular read along because I don't read a lot of translated fiction, which sucks because I'm an English speaker. I grew up in an English speaking country and I don't know any other languages, so reading translated fiction is really the only means through which I can access fiction that has been written in other languages. I have spent some time learning how to read Quranic Arabic, and I've also learned French to some extent, but I don't know any of those to the extent that I'm fluent. I can only recognize certain things and certain words and stuff like that. Before we get to the funnest part, which is the reading prompts, I wanted to show you the books that I'll be reading, and then after I'll be showing you how they match up with the prompts. The first book that I'll be reading is The Broken Wings by Khalil Gibran. This was translated from Arabic by Anthony Ferris, and it is the first book in this bind-up that I have called A Second Treasury of Khalil Gibran. He's most known for writing The Poet. I don't really care to read that so much, but I'm interested in The Broken Wings because I think it's like a fiction novel or something of the sorts. So definitely looking forward to this one. I'll also finally be reading Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I feel like I've been talking about wanting to read this book for years now. Well, I've only owned it for like a year and a half, but ever since I got it, I kept saying I'm going to read it for this, I'm going to read it for that. I keep putting it on all these TBRs and then I never end up reading it. This is translated from Japanese by Jinny Takemori. It is of course set in Japan and follows a woman named Kiko who works in a convenience store and whom I believe is also neurodivergent. So again, looking forward to finally doing this book the justice that it deserves and reading it. The final book that I would like to read is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, who I'm not quite sure translated this one. I don't have my physical copy because I lent it out, but I'll probably get it back in time for the read-along. And this is a really, really well-known modern classic, and I have no idea what it's about, but it's translated from Spanish, and the only thing I know about it is that it's about some guy from Spain who goes to Egypt and something of the sort. Everybody read this, even people who don't read this book. This is like the one book that literally everybody reads for some reason. I don't know. So I kind of want to see what all the hullabaloo is about. So I'll be giving this one a try as well for the Translate-a-thon. I'm not sure if I'll get to all three of these books, but hopefully I will. And if I do read all of them, I might be able to complete all of the reading prompts. So I'm just going to move aside and show you the prompts. Hafsa did a cute little graphic. The first one is to read a translated book from a language that you would love to learn, and I would love to learn Arabic, so the Khalil Gibran book definitely works for this one. Read a translated book from a language that you think is the hardest to learn. From what I've heard, Japanese is a pretty hard language to learn for people who speak English. This mightn't be completely true for everybody, but it probably is true for me if I try to learn Japanese. So definitely, I think I'll go with Japanese for this one, and I'll go with the Sayaka Murata book, Convenience Store Woman. Number 3 is to read a translated book from a language that someone in your life speaks. My uncle is an imam, and he has spent years studying Arabic, both Quranic and conversational. I don't know if he could actually speak Arabic fluently. I think he could. But let's just go with the fact that he could so that I could complete this prompt. 4 is one that I'm not quite sure that I might be able to complete. It's read a translated book from a language that hardly gets translated. I'm not sure if any of these languages hardly get translated. I know Spanish probably gets translated all the time, but I'm not quite sure about Japanese and Arabic. I'm sure they definitely get less translated than some of the European languages, so maybe I could go with Convenience Store Woman and The Broken Wings for this one. Number 5 is to read a translated book from a language where you would like to visit the country or region of origin where that language comes from. I'd love to visit Spain, which is where Spanish originated and which is where I believe Paulo Coelho is from, so The Alchemist definitely. I would love to visit Japan one day, and I would love to visit different parts of the Middle East. I believe Khalil Gibran was from Lebanon. So all 3 of the books definitely count for this challenge. Number 6 is to read a translated book that has won a literary award. I don't know if any of these have won awards. I'm sure they have because they're all pretty acclaimed, especially The Alchemist. I'm sure it's won something, right? So let's just pretend like I'll be completing this. And finally, number 7 is to read a book that is written and translated by women. So obviously, Sayaka Murata's book was written by a woman, Sayaka Murata, and translated by Jenny Takemori, who I believe is also a woman. So I definitely will be completing all of the challenges. If you twist them conveniently enough, I'll be completing all of them. And as you can see, there are 7 challenges, but I'm only reading 3 books, so you could double up and triple up as much as you want. You could even find a book that probably completes all of the 7 challenges. Maybe, I'm not sure, but good luck to you. Let me know if you'll be participating. Let me know if you have any recommendations for translated works. That is pretty much everything that I have for you all today. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And until next time, inshallah, keep reading.